one of the lessons I learned on YouTube from Reza, who is one of the more more capable partners around the Power Platform. Really impressed with this demonstration. It talks about, first of all, it's all free. You don't need a premium experience or a premium subscription for any of these solutions. But he talks about using a Microsoft form to capture a request, have that flow into an approval using Teams, and then some Power Automate to put that back into SharePoint as an approved list. So all out of the box functionality, a little bit of coding knowledge as well can be gained here. So let me share with you, and you'll see what I'm talking about. It's really, really quite good. So I'll share the link to the post. You can probably see my screen now. This is this Reza Doryani forms plus approvals plus files, which is what I just shared. Reza is his name. Let me just give you a quick overview of what he discussed. By the way, this took me probably about an hour and a half to do myself. So it's pretty quick to do, and I learned a lot. So I wanted to share that with you. So this is the idea. It's a Microsoft form. This is a public form, so anyone can fill this in. In this example, it's an app idea that we wanted to utilize in our academy training. So after we finish an event, we could potentially ask our audience, okay, do you have any other ideas for future events? So that's where this came from. So the app ID is entered here, a bit of a description. You can upload some supporting documents. It could be a PDF or a Word document, for example, as well as some images. So that's an example of what Reza has gone through, and I followed suit, not to change it too much. And that's pretty much all you need to do. From then, the Microsoft Power Flow takes over. So let me show you the flow. So this is called the Pax8 Academy Idea Submission Flow. I went to make.powerautomate.com to go here. There's a few steps. It took a bit of time to do, but you just, go slowly, do it one at a time. So the first point here is that the trigger is when a trigger is when an event happens. So when a Microsoft form is filled in, then continue. So when a response is submitted, we get the response details. Then Reza talks about some initialization of some variables to help get these documents into a form that can be submitted via the Microsoft Automate process. An example here is these Word and images, which he shared on the Microsoft form. And then stepping through some of the supporting document, as well as the file upload process. Then he creates a couple of arrays. So he explains it very well, very clear, very easy to understand. We apply these to each of the uploaded documents, and then it sends through to an approval. There's also a conditional approval as well that he goes into. So it covers a lot of stuff, and I think it's really valuable. Let's do it. So I'm going to go to collect responses. I'm going to go to preview. I'm going to start now. And the title idea, so this is an example. I can't think of something on the fly. I hate thinking of things on the fly, but let's say we'll do teach Pax8 partners how to create a new Power app. I don't know, that sounds like it might be a good idea for a future event. Idea, help Pax8 partners create some PSA integration. That might be a good idea. For example, I've got a new employee that needs to be onboarded. I've got to check some steps off. That'd be a good app that you could build. I would have to probably put a bit more thought into it and upload some supporting document. I'm sure I've got something in my downloads folder that I can share. I usually share the licensing guide, Microsoft Dynamics licensing guide, because that's always valuable. Let's go and get that. Okay, there's a fantastic guide. And I'm also going to upload a couple of images just because we want to have this form capture some data so we can actually get them across. And I've usually got a pretty funny photo of me doing something. So there we go, Ben Opit at the marina. So now normally that's what happens. A form is usually created by a partner and they go and collect some data and then they go look at the Excel version of that data. So I'll actually get an email saying that a new form has been submitted. And you've seen them before. They come across saying that, congratulations, someone's filled in some of your form. I'll show you what that looks like in a second. So now that we've filled out that form, that form, the Power Automate would have started, the process would have started. So let's see if we can see anything in the Power Automate flow that ran. So 15 seconds ago, it ran for 15 seconds. So that has actually run. So now if I'm going to, sorry, I've got a few monitors here, that's why I'm not looking at the screen. So if I look at my emails, I'll see an email, first of all, saying that the Microsoft form was filled in as I suggested. I'm doing this live, by the way, so I'm not editing anything, so it does take a minute to come through. And what I can do while I'm waiting for that is I'm going to show you something inside of my Microsoft Teams. This is the approvals button. Now, normally you've got activities, chats, teams, calendars, and calls. You can actually add additional buttons by clicking on these three dots here. So I've actually added the approvals button. Now, you see I've done this demonstration and tested a few times, but a new idea submission has come through from the Academy. I can't spell. TEACH. Okay, didn't look quite right to me. Teach Pax8 partners how to create and I can click on the details. So this is part of the integration that Microsoft has put together to have the Microsoft stack, Office 365, Power Platform, or communicate, including Teams, in one common platform, so you don't have to go between too many apps. Yes, we do need to go between Outlook and Teams and probably a web browser, but sometime in the future, that'll all just disappear and just be one thing, either Teams or a browser. Outlook, I presume, will eventually disappear. Here's that email that's come through, so I'm just going to show that as well. So this is what you normally get when you get an email from Microsoft, from a Microsoft form field. It says, oh, sorry, I've got a dark background on at the moment, but it says here, I can make it white. Office.com forms, Pax8 Academy, new topic ID. Hi, Ben, I hope you received a new response, and then we can view the response. And normally what you get is a view of what the idea was. And that's pretty much as far as it goes. So if we click on view results, I'll go to the most recent one. Teach partners how to create a new Power App, help partners create PSA integrations as an example, and here's some pictures. And that's pretty much as far as it goes. You can't really get much more out of that unless you go and download it. So it's not a fantastic experience. The other thing that I wanted to show you is if you open in Excel, it'll come across in a second. Again, I'm just highlighting that going the next step past the Microsoft form field is probably a good idea. And this is now opening. I'll bring it across, and you can see some of the previous test ideas that have come through. What's interesting is that for this one at the bottom, which is the most current one, you can see that Microsoft Form actually is connected to SharePoint. So if I go and click on this PDF, actually, if I go to this URL and copy that into a browser, you'll actually notice that, and Reza goes into this detail as well, you'll actually notice that the Microsoft Form fields actually do land in a SharePoint site. And here are the previous Pax8 Academy topic ideas and questions relating it. So the initial question was the document, the Word document, and the second question was that image. So these should all be images, which they are. So you can see it's all connected, right? All right, so let's go back to, I'll show you the flow. So I was showing you the approvals. So back on the approvals, this is an approval request. New ideas has been submitted to the Pax8 Academy. Teach Pax8 partners how to create a new Power App. And then I can do a couple of things. I can type a comment saying terrible idea or no, wonderful idea. I've got James and Maria, who's in our academy, who can also approve these requests. So comment, wonderful idea. Spell. We should do this. And then I can approve or reject. I can also go to more actions and cancel a request or follow it up with other people or reassign it if I don't want to have a decision on this one. But I'm going to approve it because I'm trying to demonstrate this process. And that is now a historical evidence trail of everything that's approved inside of Teams. I'm going to close that. We don't need that anymore. I'm going to close that. That's the form. That's the response. And the flow has continued. So what should happen is, and an email has just come through. By the way, here's the email that I had on the request. If I wasn't in Teams, I was out and about on the boat. That's a picture of me at a marina. I have a request to approve a flow as well in email. But what will happen is I will also get an email with the details of what's approved. I'm bringing that across now. So to myself, obviously I created the flow. This is an email saying teach this idea has been approved, and we get notified as a group that this idea has been approved by someone, and then we can go and click and view the idea on the SharePoint site. This is really nice because all of the information from the form fill and the approval now flows back into the SharePoint site that we've got dedicated for this. So we can actually see a list of all approved or non-approved requests, and they're in this list like this, including the unique IDs, the title, the descriptions, and the attachments. So it's a very comprehensive demonstration. As I said, it took about an hour and a half for me to do. Highly recommend you follow Rez's idea here and do this process. It's a 29-minute video. Took me about an hour and a half. And that's because I had a bit of playing around with some things that I wanted to do internally. So please have a go. I think it's fantastic. Big shout out to Reza as well for that content. Really love it. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Thank you.